If you're a musician who's ever felt stalled in your career, this short diagramming exercise is designed to help you map where you are now and identify how to move forward into courageous action. Hi, I'm Angela Beeching, and I help musicians get more of their best work out into the world so they can finally become the artists they are meant to be. And welcome to this session. It is Musicians at the Crossroads. It's my favorite diagramming exercise to give my clients to help them get unstuck. And I'm a bit of a nerd about diagrams. When they work, there's nothing better than having a clear, simple graphic image that helps you demystify a complex situation. So together, let's make some clarity. So first of all, grab a plain piece of paper like this and something to write with. And you want to hold that piece of paper in this horizontal orientation, horizontal or landscape. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is draw a simple vertical line down the center of the page, down the middle, and put little arrowheads at the top and at the bottom. And what we're doing here is making the spine of your crossroads. At the very top, add two words, inspire and nurture. And at the bottom, we've got anchor and ground. And we're going to focus first on the top half of the line. So think for a moment about these two words, inspire and nurture. What do they bring to mind for you when you think about being able to renew your own creative energy? I'll give you a couple of examples but I want for you to think about for yourself what works for you. And you're going to be writing across this line just in the top half. Anything that you know you turn to that really does give you that sense of renewing your creative imagination. So for me, top on the list is nature, getting out in nature, walking in the woods. I just have this sense that I'm connecting to Mother Nature in some larger format, and that Mother Nature, of course, is the inspiration or the source of all creative energy. At least that's how I experience it. And somehow it's like drinking in that good energy. Another thing that I turn to regularly is visual art. Of course, there's going to galleries and museums. That's wonderful. But at home, sometimes just drawing or making block designs. And the idea here is that you're connecting with the visual part of your brain, which as a musician and as a writer, I tend to, gets kind of neglected. And when instead I am just confronting with visual images, it also has that effect of feeling renewing, almost like it's going directly into my musical imagination. What else? What else have I mentioned? Visual art. Last thing I would say is music, of course, right? So at any given point in a month or in a, season, there may be one or two pieces or a particular recording that kind of sets your mind ablaze. And I think the only danger is you don't want to be listening to a recording that you compare yourself to and you think that you feel I'm never going to live up to this. That's not so helpful. So you want to think about a piece or a recording that actually sets your imagination ablaze. And I would write whatever that is for you these days, just along this spine here. What we're doing is we're tracking some of the resources that we have that we know reliably help us renew our imagination. So I'm assuming you've got stuff down on the top half of your line here, and we're now going to turn to the bottom, anchor and ground. So think about what those words bring to mind for you. Again, when you think about growing your artistic imagination. So for me, these words bring up the idea of centering and feeling rooted. It's an embodied experience of feeling really connected to the earth. So I have a walking partner every morning, and we go out walking in the Arnold Arboretum, which is basically my backyard. I feel very fortunate about that. And there's this thing about um, going along these paths, feeling completely present with your friend, with nature, with being in your body. That's hugely beneficial. It's very easy when we're in the practice room or in the studio and just to be all up in our heads or only thinking about the parts of our body that are actually involved in the music making. So the other things that I would say may give you ideas of what should be on your list. For you, it might not be walking, it might be running, it might be Pilates or yoga or Feldenkrais or Alexander technique, anything that is about helping you feel centered and grounded, as opposed to when things are going haywire and we're sort of frantically spinning in our thoughts. We're looking for what helps us stay grounded. These days for me, I have a fabulous Tai Chi and Qigong teacher, so that's big on my list. But again, you're just writing these down across that bottom half of your line, whatever you've got. We're together making a spine, basically our resources. What do we know we can turn to? And the reason this matters is I have to say, what I've noticed for myself is when I am spinning out into negativity in sort of a maze of circular thinking that's not productive and it's not positive, I somehow lose track that I know how to get myself back, in a good place. So we're doing this so that we have something on paper that we can remind ourselves we've got resources. Now, true confessions, I used to think that this is all that was needed, this spine. I thought as a musician, if you practice hard, if you studied with good people, if you just took care of your inspiration and your grounding, that kind of the rest of it would all take care of itself. And I have to say, it took me far too long to realize, whoa, that's not enough. I was missing a whole other dimension. So I want to clue us all into that now. And I'm going to ask you to draw the horizontal plane, the horizontal line across the middle of your page. This is the other dimension that's missing when we're only thinking about the vertical. This line, we'll get to it in a minute. The horizontal line, you want to add two words on the left, fear and inertia, and on the right, courageous action. So let me just explain what we're doing here with this crossroads. We've got that vertical spine, which I like to think of in some ways, it's describing the human condition. Our feet are planted on the ground, right? We're human, we're mortal, we live in the real world, and yet we can reach for the heavens, right? We have the ability to connect with these inspired ideas with the spirit world, however you want to think about that, the source of all inspiration. So we are betwixt and between this. This is our human condition. And yet we live in real time. We're mortal. And that's what this axis, the horizontal axis, represents. We're not going to live forever. We don't actually know how much time we have. And the real issue is we're here to give our gifts to others, to interact with people, to make a contribution in life. And our job is to get into courageous action so that we can do that in the little time that we have. So that's what we're charting now with the horizontal. And let's start over here on the left. You see fear and inertia. And this is not, I'm not about beating ourselves up here at all, but this is a reality. All of us spend some time during the week, sometime maybe each day, when we're circling those difficult thoughts, when we're maybe beating ourselves up or telling ourselves this is impossible about an ambitious project or whatever it is. So I'm asking you on this left-hand side of the horizontal line to write in what you've noticed are the symptoms that you're falling into this place of fear and inertia. The reason I'm asking us to do this is when we can really spot our the red flags, the signals that we're in trouble, the more easily we can do something to counteract it. So for me, just to give you some examples, spending too much time on social media, doing the compare and despair and getting depressed, that's a real signal that I am in fear and inertia and that I need to do something different, right? Now, all of us have down days. All of us have setbacks where we might need to spend a little bit of time regrouping. But if you're spending more than a day or two, at least from my point of view, it's a problem. So, besides social media, the other way I catch myself in this um, unfortunate situation is when I've stopped reaching out to other people. I'm not asking for help. I'm not connecting with people. I'm not trying to get some other perspective. I'm not engaging. So that isolating itself is really an issue. So the other thing is I'll stay up really late at night, and that makes the next morning a complete write-off. So, whatever these symptoms are for you, I would write them in because, again, they're helpful for us to catch, oh, that's what's going on. What can I do? How can I get myself back, in line here? And how can I get myself over here to the right side for courageous action? Okay, so I'm assuming you've got stuff down on the left-hand side. So now let's turn to courageous action. Think about the last time that you were stuck, where you had that feeling like, oh, I can't get myself moving. Everything seems impossible. I don't see a way forward. What helped you get past that? And I would write in whatever those actions that you took or those resources that you turned to, what helped. So I'll give you a few examples. For me, um, getting an accountability partner or a group, turning to a mentor or a professional coach, all of those things, of course, have helped me. And they've also shaped my work because I've seen how beneficial it is for me to have those resources. So ask yourself, do you have someone that you can turn to, that you can do check-ins with? Do you have an accountability buddy or a friend who's also working on an ambitious project that you can just check in, maybe text every day, just saying, what'd you get done or whatever, like that. That can be really helpful. The other thing I would say that's been tremendously helpful for me, and again, it's something that I do for myself and I do with my clients, is we take a large project, the idea that might be daunting, this big goal that we have, and we break it down into manageable pieces where we're checking in regularly just to see where are you with this? Did you get the next step done? If you're stuck, how can we break this task into manageable pieces? I know I need to do this for myself because it's very easy to feel overwhelmed with a large project. So that's a big piece of what effective coaching involves, breaking things down into manageable pieces. And I love being able to do this in a group situation. So that's what my Musicians on Track program is about. But what you want to do is write in for yourself on this side of your diagram what has worked in the past, and maybe also what you know you need to find now for yourself. So here we've got the crossroads. I want to talk for a moment about the symbolism here because we have made a cross. And even if we think beyond Christianity for this, again, here we are as humans with our feet rooted on the earth, reaching for the heavens, wanting to connect with this higher purpose and also with the source of all creative inspiration, right? And we are mortal. We live in time. And our goal is to bring our gifts to the world and to actively participate and contribute. And to do that, we have to get ourselves into courageous action, even when we're experiencing fear. So the way I like to think about this is instead of as a static uh, fixed diagram. I think of this vertical axis as moving forward in time. What I mean by that is we have the ability with our resources and our ways of inspiring ourselves and staying centered, we have the ability to take courageous action outside of our comfort zone and move forward into action, into fully participating with others, asking for help, getting help, collaborating, making projects happen. And so we are bringing our inspiration and our potential forward into time by taking courageous action. Step by step, every day, can you do the next scary thing on your list and keep going? So that's the way I think about the crossroads diagram. And I'm recommending, once you've completed yours, that you put it someplace where you can bump into it fairly frequently, right? Maybe you tape it to a mirror or to a print that you've got, or where else? Yeah, the refrigerator door. Why not? Right. The idea here is that you want to see this fairly regularly to remind yourself when you're feeling stuck, I've got resources, and that it's all about taking that next baby step, right? For me, if it's let's say it's an email I've been avoiding or a phone call that seems really too scary, but that I know is necessary for my project to keep going, that's the kind of thing that I can easily put on a to-do list, and then it's there day after day, week after week. And finally, when I admit to myself, okay, I've really been procrastinating, I've got to do something about this. So there I might set myself a timer, 20 minutes, just going to blast through a draft of this thing that I need to send. And at the end of the 20 minutes, first of all, I feel better that I at least made a stab at starting it. But half the time, at the end of the 20 minutes, oh, I could go a little bit further with this, right? Or, oh, that's a relief. I started this. I'm going to come back to this later or tomorrow. I'm going to send it out to a friend before I send it for real. Those are the ways I teach clients to get past those hurdles. And what I want to invite you to, if any of this has been helpful, please like, comment. I'd love to know what you thought of this, and subscribe to the channel. You can see below in the description how else you can connect, and I can't wait to see you next time.